Now that we have our list, we can now react to it. The way we react to touches on the list is through the onItemClick listener. So our activity class needs to implement the onItemClick listener. Now we're going to implement the onClickListeners methods. The only method it has to implement is the onItem. The only method it needs to implement is the onItemClick. So we're going to quickly implement that. Now we want a way to display a message. Before we've been using the console to display messages, but there's also a visual way of doing it by using toasts. Toasts are small messages that are delivered on the screen, usually at the bottom, and contain a short message to inform the user that something has happened. For example, Gmail uses that to show that when you press the back button, the message that you've been writing has been saved as a draft. We're going to use it to display a message that our items have been shared on the respective network. So we're going to say toast.makeText. Again, the context is this. Then it's going to ask us what the text that we want to display is. So we're going to say share to the space and then concatenate with our current position. We can get the selected option from the I variable. So we're going to say share to and I. And then we need to say how long it is. So we're going to say we need a short message by saying toast dot length short. And now, after we've created it, we need to also show it. Now, before we finish, we also need to tell the list view to send all its events to our class. So we're just going to say list view dot set on item click listener this. And because we've implemented the onClick listener here on item click listener, the list view, when an item is going to be touched, is going to call our method. So let's look at how this looks like. Our application has now loaded up, and when we click Twitter, our message appears, our toast. Now, let's look at more complex data types than strings. So here we have our string that we've used before. I went ahead and implemented a book class that we did a couple of weeks ago. And it's just a simple class. It's called book. It has a title, an ISBN, a constructor that puts it into the attributes of the class, and also a toString, and also the toString method, which will help us display the item in the view. Going back to the main activity, we can now change this to a book type. And now we'll have to add a couple of books to our array. So we need to create a new book. And we're going to give it a name and an ISBN in the form of a string. We can add another one if we want. Let's call this one World War Z. And give it an ISBN as well. Now what we need to change is what type of data the adapter takes. So we have to change this to book. And using the toString method that we've implemented for the book class, it's going to convert our data and show it as a string. And here we go. We have our book and our ISBN. With this, you should be able to start on your assignment that will have a list view like this. You will have multiple activities that you can switch from the on item click, bypassing the row clicked, and displaying the data later on.